Good morning, everybody. RJ Smith here with the crazy podcast right here on the Crazy News Channel. Welcome aboard. So, this channel is 4 years old. This is your first time here. Thanks for coming by, guys. What else can I say, right? So, if you don't know who I am, I worked in Hollywood for a long time. I'm a film producer. I'm a best-selling horror novelist, but I've also went to school. I'm a criminologist and body language expert. So, what I like to do is find the crazy stuff, get out there and discuss it with you guys. What the hell's going on with the news? And it's crazy because I'm a nut. So I don't know. The way I act, just ignore it. Another thing, I have a brain injury. If you see that I misstep or went the wrong way, it's just because of the brain. There's no way for me to control that. But usually things are going all right. Don't have my hat, don't have my shirt today. I'm just kind of doing this. Boom. You know what I mean? So today we have a few good news stories, but I want to talk about Ilhan Omar. And not anything bad. I mean, she's just a controversial figure in the House, right? Excuse me. She's made a lot of crazy statements over the years. And yesterday she was attacked. What? Attacked? Yes, she was attacked. Why? Why'd she get attacked? Because she's always saying racist stuff against white people. White people suck. White people this, white people that. Holy crap. And she's a congresswoman. Now, first thing I want to know about, how the hell can she be a congresswoman? She wasn't born in this country, which that should be a requirement. And second of all, she is the representative for the Somali district in Michigan. And when she came to power, she only had, I think she was $50,000 in the bank, okay? Here we are, a few years later, she is worth $30 million. How the fuck does that happen? Got into Congress, 50 grand net worth. Few years in, worth 30 million. Just saying. Somebody might want to investigate that. I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, she's basically condemned the federal agents and making them the bad guy, despite the fact that the agents are just there to get people who aren't supposed to be here in our country illegally. And a couple of people have died because of what the protesters did. They created chaos. So yesterday, a deal was made between the governor of Minnesota and Trump. Supposedly, the governor said that he would work with the Trump administration in opening up the jails for violent felons who are immigrants and here illegally. So if he's going to turn those over, that's great. The rioting will be over. Because the whole thing with the rioting, folks, that just came about because they're trying to do their job, right? And then here comes these people following them around, beeping their horns, blocking them off. That's impeding. You know, there's a lot of people who was arrested. A lot of people pushed ICE. I guess they think, what, ICE is not a law enforcement agency? Come on, they're a federal agency. You put your finger on them. It's just like if you put your finger in or push, a local cop in your area. Not going to work, right? So I don't know what that was all about, but it's supposedly going to die down now. But she was the target of an attack, and I'm going to get to that. But I'm going to go through a few things of her history first, because it's absolutely insane. Just this January, just this month, okay? Actually, it was just yesterday, right? Yesterday, right? Thanks, Jack. My producer's yelling at me. Yesterday, during a town hall in Minneapolis, a man identified as Anthony Kazmierzek sprayed Representative Omar with an unknown brown substance from a syringe. Holy crap. You think he was planning on poking her with it or something? But when he couldn't get to her, maybe he just pushed it out? Wonder what the hell that is, eh? Omar was calling for the resignation of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, which a lot of people really don't like anymore. Look, I never liked the fact that we were dragging people out of their houses, dragging them out of work, separating families that are walking down the street together. That's just unnecessary. Here's my solution. I might be wrong. I've been wrong before, believe it or not. I know you can't believe that I've been wrong, but yeah, I've been wrong. And I forgot what I was talking about. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. Anyway, she's been calling for the resignation of Nome and all the ICE people. And yesterday, guy just walked up to her and sprayed her. Wow. And then if you go back just a few days, Omar gave several fiery speeches following the killing of 37-year-old Nicole Good, or Renee Good. She characterized the federal agent, right? Or actually the federal immigration program. Sorry, guys, it's just too much. She says all of ICE's behavior is state-sanctioned, what was it? Violence, that's quote. And an unhinged tirade, apparently she was involved with. She also said the U.S. goddamn states. Now, she's a U.S. congresswoman, I'm sorry. During, let's see, where's that at? 20 gave a fiery. Yeah, okay, so during a Democratic field hearing, Omar used the phrase, like I just said, quote, U.S. goddamn states, close quote, while criticizing the requirement, okay, for citizens to carry papers during immigration enforcement actions, which she described as appalling. Now, to be fair, nobody ever has ID when you ask them, right? So what is she talking about there? People who don't want to be arrested don't turn over their ID. That's just how it is. That's real life here in America. For her to say U.S. goddamn states, wow. And who is she representing? Number one, is she representing the Muslims, the Somalis, more important? I'm sorry, not the Muslim, but the Somali Muslims. She's on their side. Why is she exactly a representative of the United States? I don't know. And then when she was referring to 9/11, you remember, terrorists took our buildings down, flew planes and everything. Remember that? She said that we must have done something to deserve it. Exactly what she said, quote, some people did something. Yeah, some people did do something, although it had nothing to do with American people. The people that did something, instead of saying some people did something, you should say exactly what it is. You just say generalities, but when you talk about people you don't agree with, you get right into it. So that's what's going on with Ilhan Omar. And I want to play something for you. I'm going to pull up that video so you guys can see it. Is this it right here? Let me just play this first because this is really relevant background. Tell me what you think and we'll go from there. Here we go.
Today, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar is attempting to clarify, saying she was in no way equating terrorist organizations with democratic countries with well-established judicial systems. At issue, this controversial tweet Omar posted on Monday, appearing to liken American and Israeli atrocities with those of Hamas and the Taliban.
Oh, wow.
Quote, we must have the same level of accountability and justice for all victims of crimes against humanity, Omar tweeted. We have seen unthinkable atrocities committed by the U.S., Hamas, Israel, Afghanistan, and the Taliban, including a video of this question she posed to Secretary of State Anthony Blinken.
In both Palestine and in Afghanistan, I haven't seen any evidence in either cases that domestic courts both can and will prosecute alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity. This includes crimes committed by both the Israeli security forces and Hamas.
Israel. You wanna go after Israel for defending themselves. Wow.
In Afghanistan, it includes crimes committed by the Afghan national government and the Taliban.
A number of Jewish House Democrats immediately slammed the Congresswoman, calling it offensive and misguided, and saying she needs to clarify her words.
Right. I mean, she's talking about America and American citizens. Why don't you say how bad the terrorists are, how bad, Hamas was and still is? No condemnation for that whatsoever.
Omar quickly fired back, saying it is shameful for her colleagues to put out a statement and not just call her directly. Quote, the Islamophobic tropes in this statement are offensive. The constant harassment and silencing from the signers of this letter is unbearable. That doing little to quell Democratic criticism.
It's completely and totally unacceptable.
When we see hate,
Omar says she's now facing multiple death threats
Muslims are terrorists.
and tweeted out one of them.
And every anti-American communist piece of shit that works for her, I hope you get what's coming for you.
All right, so I wouldn't go that far. That is inciting violence. I definitely wouldn't go that far. But something has to be done, right? I mean, this is really, really sickening. It really is, folks. I mean, what the hell? Right? What the hell? All right, let's go on.
The Congresswoman's comments are just one in a series of several controversial comments Omar has made about Israel's supporters and American politics in her 2 years on Capitol Hill.
I want to talk about the political influence in this country that says it is okay for people to push for allegiance to a foreign country.
In 2019,
What the hell
Omar
is she
was
talking about?
forced to apologize after Democrats accused her of anti-Semitism for using this anti-Semitic trope, suggesting that congressional support for Israel was all about the Benjamins, baby.
Her remarks were reprehensible.
The House voting on 2 different resolutions in response to the Congresswoman's comments, broadly condemning hate and anti-Semitism.
These
I
words
mean,
have a history and a cultural
Take the
impact that may have been unknown to her.
Take the freaking Hamas headscarf off your head. You are a U.S. Congresswoman. Jesus, wow. Unbelievable, huh, folks? Is that crazy? Or am I just a fucking lunatic? You know, I know I'm a lunatic, but really, it seems a little crazy to me. I don't know. I guess when they do it, it's okay, but when we do it, it's not okay. It's okay. All right. Let's continue.
And Speaker Pelosi and other House Democratic leaders have responded to Congresswoman Omar's clarification this afternoon, saying in part, quote, drawing false equivalencies between democracies like the U.S. and Israel and groups that engage in terrorism like Hamas and the Taliban foments prejudice. We welcome the clarification by Congresswoman Omar.
Oh, so it's our fault.
We're standing up
right.
for our
It's
right
right
to be
fault.
lazy.
Right. Okay. So yeah, great. Thanks a lot. So this one is pretty interesting. Check this out. This is, I guess, a woman who was attacked verbally in an elevator in the U.S. House. I think I'm correct. But look, we can always just watch it and see what the hell's going on for real.
So the other night on the House floor was not my first Jihad Squad moment. So I was getting into an elevator with one of my staffers, and he and I we're leaving the Capitol. We're going back to my office, and we get in the elevator, and I see a Capitol police officer running hurriedly to the elevator. I see fret all over his face, and he's reaching, and I'm like, what? The door's shutting. Like I can't open it. Like what's happening? I look to my left, and there she is, Ilhan Omar. And I said, well, she doesn't have a backpack. We should be fine.
Hey guys, how about we stop with the comments on both sides? How about that? Turn down the temperature a little bit. I'm not saying both sides are at fault. I'm not saying one side's at fault, but I am saying that this Somali representative in the U.S. House acts more supportive of Somali illegal immigrants than she does anything else. I don't know how she survived the last election. I know the other 2 squad members got voted down. I don't know why she's still in. It might be because she's from the district where all this Somali fraud's going on, right? So she has a captive voting block, period. They're going to vote for her just because she's Somali. There's no way to get her out of there, folks, because that district is a Democratic district. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. Just like anti-Muslim, okay, criticism and insults shouldn't be spewed. Neither should they be spewed about American people or about our government or about Israel. Because she comes out of her mouth all the time blasting Jewish people and our country and that we're all racist and that people need to be afraid of white men. She said that. I don't know why it would cause a backlash. And as for Jake Tapper, he's full of shit. What kind of reporter is this fucking guy, right? Now, when I went to journalism school back in the day, you know, I had journalism, I had English literature, I had criminology. But when I went to journalism school, I was always taught you have to be impartial. You can't have your own opinion. You just report the news. Man, has that changed, huh? Can you believe that? How much that's really freaking changed? God, folks. Yeah, this is another one right here. This other one here is just absolutely disgusting. Shameful, deeply offensive, and dangerous. Yet another blatant display of Islamophobia targeting Ilhan, Minnesota. These comments are personally hurtful, legitimately endanger her, and the broader Muslim community. What the fuck? How does comments and critiques of Ilhan Omar, how does that endanger the broader Muslim community? How? Explain that to me, because when they attacked us in 2001, there was a lot of that going on, but we got it together. I mean, come on, this is the most unracist country in the world. It really is. You go to Russia, you try being a person of color in Russia. Try being gay in Russia. I mean, it's unbelievable. Try to sneak into the country of Russia or China or, we can't say Britain now because that's basically a proxy of the Islamists, sorry. Rhetoric like this must be denounced and anyone spewing it held to account. Okay, well, you're not being held to account. Yeah, everybody wants to take action against, it looks like the other wing, the Republicans, right? Call for action against any Republican, but they don't call for action against any of their own who are like, I don't know, stealing $30 million. We cannot ignore this hate and fear mongering. Really? Well, that's very, very interesting. Hey, she was a member of the Jihad Squad. She is a member of the Jihad Squad. There's no getting around that. She is anti-American and definitely for any Muslim country. And of course, it's all the white man's problem. That's what she said. She said the white men in this country. In 6 years, somehow she made $30 million. Her husband didn't have a lot of money before she went in. I just want to know where it came from. I mean, I think every American wants to know that. No matter who the congressperson is or who, whatever you are. I mean, you're, geez, I'm trying to be careful here, but the Somali district, right, in Minneapolis, Nick Shirley, who is a journalist, independent journalist, broke open that whole fraud thing. And did you notice right after all of the information came out about that, what happened? All of a sudden, there was attacks on ICE because they want to take the spotlight off of them, you know? Oh, look at ICE, look at ICE, look at ICE. And totally forget about all the fraud. I mean, the billions of dollars that these people basically stole from us. All right, so here's the video. Told you I was going to play it for you, and I am. Excuse me. Okay, let's just start at the beginning. So she's there. Watch this. There's no sound to it. See that? Sprayed that, whether it's a brown suspect in a syringe. And of course, they took him right down. I mean, you know, it's stupid because these people all have security. Why am I not hearing anything here? Oh, that might help. Let me go back. Let me go. Fucking stupid, RJ. There you go. Okay.
Tensions remain high. Breaking tonight, a scary moment at a town hall in Minneapolis held by Representative Ilhan Omar when a man charged at her and sprayed her with an
She was going to go fight
in a syringe. Our Sharon Yu was in the room when all of this happened and joins us with details.
Yeah, Julie, it's just all of it happened so quickly tonight. And as Representative Omar was calling for abolishing ICE and calling on DHS Secretary Kristi Noem to resign, a man who was in the first or second row of the town hall got up, lunged at her with what appeared to be a syringe full of brown liquid, and sprayed her. Shortly after, the room filled with the smell of something vinegary.
We must abolish ICE.
One man is in custody.
I wonder if it was poop in a syringe, right? People actually throw poop at each other, folks. I know you maybe never heard of that, but it's true. You got to wonder if that's what that was.
Tonight for allegedly attacking Representative Ilhan Omar with an unknown substance. Our cameras caught the moment.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
Video.
Let's look at that again. I want to see that again. So he did. He sprayed her with
Video shows the man bolt from up near the front, lunge towards her and spray her with a syringe filled with a brown liquid. Omar's security team quickly pummeled the man to the ground and restrained him. It's unclear what he was saying, but people around Omar quickly pointed out they could smell something. As the man was escorted out, he was heard saying, quote, "She's pinning us against each other."
Ooh, make a hole! Pinning us against each other! Make a hole! Make a hole! Ooh.
Minneapolis police say they booked the man for third-degree assault, but he has not officially been charged. MPD's forensic unit is working to process the scene. Representative Omar's...
I mean, it could have been anything, right? What if it had been like a deadly substance, right? We don't know what it is, but it had a smell to it like that, and everybody in the room smells it. That means, yeah, it's not good, whatever's in there.
Press team said in a statement, Omar continued because, quote, "She doesn't let bullies win."
No, we will continue this. We're not going to get away with it.
Omar finished the town hall to question.
This is a congresswoman. Look how unhinged she is. Cannot control herself. No way that she can act with respect. She's always got to be the loudest, the most arrogant. And you know what? Right here, she's a congresswoman. She's acting like a thug.
Questions and stayed until the end.
I learned at a young age you don't give in to threats. You look them in the face and you stand strong. They pick the wrong person every day.
The DFL party chair said in a statement this evening asking all Minnesotans to condemn this act of political violence, saying that constant personal attacks against Omar must stop.
Like the attacks that she's been constantly making on our law enforcement and on president and on, anyone who is not Somali, anyone who is not Muslim. She wants the takeover of America. That's what these people want. That's why they move here. In Minneapolis, in the Somali neighborhood, they tried to put Sharia law as the law, meaning all women would be required to be subservient to their man and all that. They tried to, what the fuck? You're in America. You got to conform to what we are doing, we don't conform to you. Wow.
And on the other side, Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace also said in a statement she vehemently disagrees with Representative Omar's ideologies, but said, quote, no elected official should face physical attacks. This is not who we are.
Yeah, like they tried to kill Trump 3 times, right? I didn't hear any condemnation from that side of the aisle about that. I'm just saying, folks, I'm trying to have you remember what really happened because it gets twisted. Now, there was some other news yesterday. Unfortunately, there was another shooting. This time it was Border Patrol. I think it was Arizona. I'm not sure if I'm remembering that correct, but let's check this out together.
Authorities say one person was critically wounded in a shooting involving a Border Patrol officer. It happened this morning in Arivaca, Arizona, a community about 10 miles from the border. Officials say the person shot was life-flighted to a regional trauma center and is in law enforcement custody. Federal authorities have not yet commented on the shooting. The Pima County Sheriff's Office says it is leading the use of force investigation involving the Border Patrol agent. But of course, details are still just coming in about exactly what led to the shooting, what caused Border Patrol to fire on this person, who this person is that was fired upon. But we understand that person now being treated at a trauma center at this point. But Border Patrol officers shooting a person down.
See, that's what we have to remember, folks. They are going after, excuse me, they are going after, who's going after what? That goddamn brain injury kills me. Yeah, well, something happened, right? I mean, an agent, an officer, whatever you want to call him, any type of Leo, is not going to just shoot somebody, right? There has to be some type of prior interaction that causes that officer to make him feel like he's unsafe and that he's got to defend himself. We're not really hearing what happened here yet. But again, this would be what, the 3rd or 4th shooting, I think, and 2 died. But again, what happened prior to that? That's what I want to know.
In Arivaca, Arizona, about 10 miles from the border. We'll continue to follow the story and bring you updates throughout this newscast on KTV.com, Fox Local, and later newscasts as well. New at noon, the state Senate is set to vote today on.
Okay, so we're going to find out. Hopefully, we'll find out the truth about that. I might have that tonight if it's an update. What else do I got? Oh, this is great. I always like to give you less chaotic stuff at the end. The biggest cash haul in history has been carried out. It reminds me of, the movies where you see the mobsters have their money in the walls. And, that's exactly what this is. This is just a got lucky sting. Check this out and tell me what you think about it in the comments down below. And hey, if you're enjoying this right now, hit the like button. That's all I ask for. Like and the subscribe button. That's it. I don't want your money.
It is the largest cash seizure in Miami-Dade police history. Over $24 million found inside the Miami Lakes home of Luis Gonzalez Hernandez. Police raided that home Tuesday and says the cash was behind this wall in the attic, packed in orange Home Depot buckets, 150 grand in each bucket. A loaded Tech-9 firearm was also taken from the home.
Could never think in a million years that this beautiful home here on the corner of Northwest 77th Path and 169 Terrace.
The investigation by the DEA.
Can you imagine? Imagine let's say, whoever lived there before died, right? So imagine you are buying the house, at auction or whatever, you buy it, and you want to redo the walls, and you take down the walls, the drywall, and you find all this money stacked. What would you do? I'm curious to know. Would you turn it in? Or would you be like, hey, this came with the house, I'm not going to turn this in? Or would you leave it in the walls maybe for a few years just to make sure you're clear and then spend it just 100 at a time? Because you don't want to do any more than that. You're going to get messed up. But $24 million in this house, folks. Look at that cash.
32-year-old.
So this is hook training 101. I'm going to use this.
That's crazy. That is absolutely insane. This is something else that happened. I got this in an email. I want to thank John for that. Keep sending me, these weird things, and we'll talk about it, and I'll get it on here. My email is RJ. Well, no, send it to the real RJ Smith at iCloud.com. I should probably have that up on the screen for you guys. But send me whatever videos you think we can cover, and I'll put them up. Watch this. This is crazy.
This. Basically as a little sensation device, a little tool, right? She's going to feel that it's a hook and not food. Now, if I did it right, she's going to come out.
Watch his chest. Watch what happens here. Right here. Just watch that and watch that head right there. Look at the size of this freaking, it looks like maybe a python or a boa, or, because it's white. It's an albino. Now, he can't die from getting bit by this. This is just a regular bite. I got bit by a huge, gigantic boa constrictor when I was little. I mean, it was like a 10 feet. I was only about maybe 4 feet.
Oh no, I didn't do it right. She think you're food, Johnny? Oh. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. I do this every time.
Oh.
I know what I'm doing.
Watch this.
I'm a professional. I do this every time.
How about that? I stopped it right there. Let me see if I back it up a little bit more. Just when it jumps at him. Okay. Let's go frame by frame. Here it comes. It's coming out. And this is done so fucking fast. I mean, you don't even know it's happening. Look at that snake coming up. All right, let's go right here, frame by frame. Look at that. You see the snake's head right there trying to swallow him, but it's a man, right? Still had to hurt because they do have, teeth. They do have teethus, right? Hey, Prince. What's going on, baby? My little dog's here trying to get me to take him for a walk. It's 38 degrees out there. I'm in Florida, folks. I can't even imagine what you're doing. If you live up in the northern United States right now, man, send me your videos of what the snow is doing and the cold. I would love to show that on the show. That's crazy. That's crazy. If that was any other snake, like a rattlesnake or something, he'd be dead. Just because of where the bite is at. Okay, and then I want to play this for you. So they are all upset right now because the Homeland Security, well, ICE and Border Patrol are using an acoustic weapon now to disperse crowds. And once this weapon goes off, not yet, baby. Not yet. You want to say hi? Here. Come here. Say hi. Up here. See? Where are you? There you are. Ah, good boy. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. I'm almost done. Almost done. Take it easy. It's going to be all right. No need to panic. Okay. All right.
James found out about it.
I hereby declare this an unlawful assembly.
A powerful. So this is what happened after the deal with Trump. The actual state police and the regular Minneapolis police came out and they put this whole thing down in minutes, locked up a bunch of people, and guess what? Protests are over. That's all they had to do in the beginning. All you have to do is arrest these people. Something you can't do it, but nobody would tell him that. Brisker would not tell him that. He's the governor there. And the Minneapolis mayor is just, wow. So anyway, this is what happens after responsible politicians do what they're supposed to do.
Sound system first used by the military was in action Monday night in Maple Grove.
Of course, they don't like that either. They of course, we can't use that. Yeah, we can't use bullets, right? And we can't use less lethal. What the hell are we supposed to use?
To communicate and disperse noisy protesters. What is an LRAD and how does it work?
Well, an LRAD is like a loudspeaker, but it focuses the sound in a narrow cone so that if you're inside the cone, it's extremely loud.
Retired Marine Colonel Mark Kansian is a senior advisor for the Center for Strategic and International RAD since 2013 and says it has had an LRAD since 2013 and uses it to make sure entire groups can hear when an event is declared unlawful and they have been told to disperse. During the Maple Grove protest, State Patrol says officers checked the volume, issued dispersal notices, and did not use tones or sirens, despite what has been reported on social media.
This assembly is unlawful under laws of the state of Minnesota.
When it's cranked up, Kansian says it can be overwhelming.
You see, these guys are the local, state, and county police. They've been waiting for the order, you know? They couldn't believe what was happening, but they put it down.
We used it in Iraq when I was with the Marines. We tested it on the staff, gave us the demonstration. If you're in the cone, it sounds like the voice of God is speaking to you.
LRADs can project spoken commands at intense volumes or emit a loud, piercing tone designed to get attention and deter movement. But Kansian says even spoken commands can have a powerful effect.
I think we saw that in the videotapes.
He wants to go on a walk.
Of the system because it's so loud. I mean, it pushes you back.
The system was designed as a less lethal option to pepper spray, tear gas, and rubber bullets.
In some situations where you might end up using force, this can avoid that and avoid permanent damage.
How come we didn't hear it? Did I go past it?
It is like a loudspeaker.
Easy protesters. What is an LRAD and how is it used by the military? Was the system first used by the military? Was an
I declare this an unlawful assembly.
A powerful sound system first used by the military was in action Monday night in Maple Grove to communicate and disperse noisy protesters. What is an LRAD and how does it
I declare this an unlawful assembly.
So it's like a high-pitched beep. It's really, really, really loud, and it can damage your hearing permanently. What do we have here? This is... Oh, this is, I want you to hear what it sounds like. See if we can hear it.
Go back to Kentucky!
Now, it doesn't sound too bad here because it's not loud, right? But if you're out there on the street, it can break your eardrum. Very powerful weapon. It's used in riots and things like that. Now, if you look, guys, it must not be that loud because there's still people standing here. So, everything is a crisis now in our country, folks. Everything. And, I guess I should play this for you. Russia is still attacking Ukraine. Even though the peace talks the other day, they were totally terrible because the Russian Federation does not want to give the land back to Ukraine. But Ukraine is kicking their freaking asses. And, there's not too many solutions. Either, listen, this war can end today, folks. Absolutely end today if Russia would just pull out of occupying Ukraine. It's that simple. It's not Ukraine's fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's Putin's fault. And look, this is what he did to a passenger train yesterday.
Бери чемодан. До мене сюди. Мужики, помагайте, йдіть сюди. Сюди пошли.
Now, this is a passenger train. There's no military stuff on it. It's not transported on this train. This was just an outright terrorist attack by the Russian Federation on the people of Ukraine to try to get them to say, fuck, I'm tired of getting, just give them the land. Just give them the land. We're sick. They're not going to do that. You invaded a country, Mr. Putin, and yeah.
Возьми. Пошли. Возьми чемодан, поможи, братина.
Happy birthday. Can you imagine?
Пошли, подальше отсюда, бегом.
Of course, Russia denies it, but how can you deny it? All right, so that's Zelensky, and we are on the last video. And you know, I always like to show you these Somalian videos. Just makes you laugh, you know. And we need a little laughter in this fucking country and in this world nowadays. Check this out, get a laugh, and I will see you guys right back here when? Tonight at 9 p.m. with another episode, and I'll update you on all the day's events. We'll see if anything breaks. Maybe there'll be an attack on Iran today. Just stay tuned. Tune in to me every day, 9 a.m., 9 p.m. You can always get the truth right here and videos that your cable news station will not show. Here you go, guys. Have a good one.
Ms. Orsame, this court has considered the evidence and the scale of the fraud. For operating the daycare center scheme that drew over $5 million a year in public funds, you are hereby sentenced to 15 years in the State Department of Corrections.
You are a dipshit, Judge. Send me back to Mogadishu and be done with it.
Ma'am.
No, I don't.
Ms. Orsame, this court has considered the evidence and the scale of the fraud. For operating the daycare center scheme that drew over $5 million a year in public funds, you are hereby sentenced to 15 years in the State Department of Corrections.
You are a dipshit, Judge. Send me back to Mogadishu and be done with it.
Ma'am.
No, I don't.
Ms. Orsame, this court has considered the evidence and the scale of the fraud. For operating the daycare center scheme that drew over $5 million